Grab a cup and let's spill the tea. Your unabridged connection to mainstream news here on WHIP Radio, Philly's #1 college radio station. Hello, everybody. As always, this is Jon Dowding, and you are listening to The Tea here on WHIP Radio, Philly's #1 college radio station. And as always, this is my podcast where I just give you my unabridged, unedited, but educated opinions about things going on around the world, particularly around the country, because this country's so big, it pretty much influences the whole world, but I digress. Let's get started real quick. This first story has been very popular within the last couple of days since it first happened, was how President Trump, quote, disrespected, or how he kind of was not using his mind when he spoke to a widow of a slain soldier. Basically what happened was the president reportedly told the widow of one of the 4 soldiers killed in Niger that her husband, quote, knew what he signed up for. President Trump later denied that he said that. Almost 2 weeks passed since the death of the soldiers and the president's phone call, a gap Trump explained at a Monday press conference in the Rose Garden as him wanting a little time to pass. The slain soldier, try saying that 5 times fast, directly involved is Army Sergeant LaDavid Johnson. Representative Frederica Wilson, a Democrat who represents Johnson's hometown of Miami Gardens, Florida, was in the car with Johnson's family when President Trump called his widow. Apparently the phone was on speaker, and apparently President Trump had said to the widow, well, he kind of knew what he signed up for, but I guess it still hurts. And after news of that got out, after the representative came out and said Trump said that, the president accused her of making the whole thing up. But then Johnson's mother came out in support of it and said, no, he lied. He said this. Basically what's going on is Representative Wilson, I understand, and I said this today during Rational Radio, I feel like I understand where Trump's coming from and what he's doing, his rationale of coming out against her. 1, trying to cover his tracks in the easiest way possible. 2, it has become a trend, I would say, in the political spectrum of just to come out against Trump, just to come out against him, saying he said one thing just to make him look bad. And you just get cheap and easy positive attention from the press for it. But regardless, Trump, you got caught, own up to it, be a man, be an adult, and admit you said something you shouldn't have said. That's what it comes down to, and it's as easy as that. Let's solve something harder like world hunger. Honestly, own up to what you say. If I said something like that to, I don't know, a professor says, oh my God, I'm sorry, I couldn't come to class that day. I lost my son because he died fighting for our country. And I said, well, he knew what he signed up for. I'm going to fail that class. You are already failing your job right now. So let me stop before I go off. This podcast is only so much time, you know what I'm saying? Next story that I really, really want to get to was how the whole, and I'm sure you guys have seen on social media because society nowadays revolves around social media, the new #MeToo campaign. Little background about it. Women and some men have used this hashtag to share personal stories of sexual harassment and assault. Twitter said that in less than 24 hours, 4.7 million people around the world had engaged in the Me Too conversation with more than 12 million posts, comments, and reactions. According to Facebook, more than 45% of people in the United States are friends with someone who posted a message with the words Me Too. The hashtag caught fire over the weekend when actress Melissa Milano tweeted a call out to victims so we might give people a sense of the magnitude of the problem. The online movement did not start with Alyssa Milano on Sunday. It actually started more than 10 years ago with an activist by the name of Tarana Burke. Late Monday, actress Alyssa Milano credited Burke with creating the hashtag MeToo campaign and tweeted a link to her organization. Melissa Milano tweeted, the origin story is equal parts heartbreaking and inspiring. You can't really bring up a negative thing with this issue. This has been such a brilliant way to raise awareness of an issue going on in our country. Ex-Vice President and Barack Obama's BFF, Joe Biden, has been speaking out against sexual assault and rape on campuses, even working with Lady Gaga to help raise awareness and get people to realize that this is a problem that needs to be acknowledged and this is a problem that needs to be solved. We need to teach people strategies of how to deal with it and how to prevent it. This is great too because speaking with some people, just in general conversation, talking about, did you see the hashtag MeToo thing? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. It's not a matter of, oh my God, did you see somebody said it and somebody experienced this? It's a matter of, can you believe how many people said this? Can you believe how many people acknowledge this? And I think that's what the strength is with this whole social media campaign. The strength within this campaign was acknowledging the fact that so many people out there have experienced some sort of sexual assault or harassment, predominantly women. This is not something that can be ignored. Somebody you know is going through this or has gone through this, and we need to stand up and stop sexual harassment. Men need to stop. Hello, men, please stay in your lane. Just because a girl decides to dress up and look nice for herself that day, again for herself, not for you, doesn't mean you can call her out down the street and try to get her to come to you. Stay in your lane. That's really what the topic of the day, the motto of the week is. Stay in your lane. Really, just let people live. I think that whole campaign is beautiful, it's brilliant, and it's bringing awareness to something that needs to be talked about. And there's so many things that's going on in the world right now. It's hard to focus in on one thing, but this is definitely something worthwhile and definitely something we need to acknowledge and try to think of some kind of way to solve it. So caps off to you, Alyssa Milano, and caps off to Tarana Burke for starting this whole campaign. Last quick story, of course, about 45. 4 signs that Trump's furious efforts to save coal are futile. The Trump administration may be internally divided about a multitude of things, but it is absolutely united around one goal: supporting the U.S. coal industry. This comes from a Vox News report. VOX, not Fox like the animal. Anyway, coal is losing in Texas, in the U.S., and in the world. And this is occurring in the U.S. in the government on many different departmental levels. At the Department of Energy, Rick Perry is trying to engineer an intervention into energy markets to boost coal and nuclear power. At the Department of the Interior, Ryan Zinke is currently trying to allow coal mines closer to national monuments. And at the EPA, Scott Pruitt is repealing the Clean Power Plan, Obama's carbon regulations policy on power plants, and seeking the weakest possible replacement. But this whole seemingly unanimous effort from the administration towards an increase in coal is just pointless. A new report from the Union of Concerned Scientists finds that the share of U.S. electricity coming from coal fell 51% in 2008 to 31% in 2016, and that's a humongous change in 8 years. First of all, we're pretty much running out of coal, and it's more cost effective in general to use natural gas or wind energy or even, honestly, hydroelectric energy. And countries around the world are also swearing off coal. In China, they backed off on a bunch of plans they had to build hundreds of coal mines because it's just not cost effective to build a coal mine when you're not going to get a lot of money out of it. It's a business decision. And you think somebody like Trump would realize that the business of this product and the time and money I've put forth to this product is not worth it. Coal was and potentially could be a stable source of energy. There were hundreds probably of coal mines in the past. I wasn't around then, obviously, because I'm so youthful. Coal was a centerpiece in society, especially in areas like West Virginia and Ohio and even parts of Pennsylvania, because coal mining provided jobs for hundreds of thousands of people. And you could argue that's Trump's main rationale for doing so. The Dow Jones has been going up steadily, has been reaching highs ever since Inauguration Day. And Trump, again, is a businessman, so he understands to have a good economy, everybody's got to have a job. So he's trying to bring back those jobs that he promised to people in West Virginia, in the coal mining towns, in the coal mining states. That's where a lot of his strong support was, in those areas. He keeps saying he's going to bring back coal. Reality of the situation? He's not. He's not going to be able to bring back coal. It's not a limit of his power. It's looking at what is going on today. Not a lot of people want coal. Coal mining is dangerous. It's toxic to the body. You're breathing in all these fumes. It's not good. And natural gas, solar energy, wind energy, those are all cost-effective ways of getting energy. So if you want to learn more information about how the Trump campaign's efforts towards coal are futile, I would definitely recommend looking up this Vox News article at Vox.com. 4 signs that Trump's furious efforts to save coal are futile. But all I can say is if you want to look up previous episodes of my podcast, The T, as always, you can look them up on WHIPradio.com. Just look up The T. I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. I have the best time being able to vent, talk about the news and what's important to you guys every week. So keep it locked. Talk to you guys later.